a temporary site for the closed beta.
True, true.
Alright, so we finally seem to have everything in working order. So that's good.
Yay!
Better late than never. We're,
I like how we're listening to
You're going to need to speak in the mic more, he's going to overpower you every time.
Yeah. So we're half out of time, so I'm going to make this as quick as I can while still trying to take my time. So as you can see, I'm just not even going to bother talking about anything that has anything to do with the sauce because I don't think I need to explain it to anybody here.
especially not me.
It's a waste of time. Everybody's got the idea, and I have way more other stuff to talk about. So, this is obviously not sauce at all.
Tell me, what is that you have up on the screen right there?
It looks like a competing product.
I'm cannibalizing my own product in more ways than you know.
That was pseudo-sexual.
Does it involve auto-cannibalization?
Come on.
So, a year ago to probably tomorrow, I would say. So like, 364 days ago, I was downstairs during the OCR panel, and I was talking to Jake, and I'm like, Jake, I've pretty much already designed VGMix, the next iteration, and I can get it to work. I've been following everybody in the shiz. They have different ideas of what VGMix should be. But I wanted to come to you and say, Jake, what do you want VGMix to be? Because, that's obviously what's going to be most important here. And he's like, look, don't listen to anybody else. Don't worry about what anybody else is saying. The main things I'm concerned about are collaborations and combos, because I really want VGMix to be a place where our artists can go to grow and learn. Everything else I don't care about. I don't care about ratings. I don't even care about being able to post songs. Those are the things I want to emphasize. He said to get me a spec, because he said he's really good at making specs, and he would write one out for me and he would get it to me as soon as possible. So I sent him an email. I didn't hear back from him. And in February, I sent him another email. I didn't hear back from him. And then around, I would say about May, I was just like, you know what? We're just gonna let Jake do his thing. Busy guy. And we're just gonna start getting into it. So I got together with Mark, Fusion 2004. We started writing down what Jake wanted, the different ways of how we can achieve all of that, and what we needed to do to be able to get there. So like I said, Jake wanted albums and combos and things like that. So we started detailing what we need for combos and albums. And I told Jake right off the bat, I'm like, look, you realize that if I build you a new compo system, it's going to be better than the compo system that I have, and that's essentially going to put my compo system out of business. And he's like, look, it happens. So I was like, that's fair enough. The compo system on the sauce is okay. It's pretty good, but it just needs a lot of work too. So all the changes that we'd like to see on the sauce, we're just going to roll into this. Jake wants everybody to be able to make their own combos. So when we get to the actual part of making the combos, that's going to be a big part of it. Is anybody can make a combo. No combos are really going to have any emphasis over anything else. They'll just be, this is the next one. These are the active ones. These are the ones that's ending. It's going to be up to you to self-promote it, kind of the way like it is for the sauce right now. So other plans, automated listening party. We're going to have a big playlist that'll just automatically play everything in order. Me and Mark have already went through the details of all that. So basically, anything that anybody's ever wanted from the sauce's combo system, we're going to have for this one. Somewhere between Solid Composer, if anybody's used it, and what we have, and what Jake wants here. So compo's pretty straightforward. Albums. The way we're looking at albums right now is we're treating albums as they can either be private, nobody can see it, you got invite only. We're treating you can be public, which means everybody can see it and everybody can join it and everybody has to bid for songs. You can be somewhat private, where you can see that the compo is existing or the album's existing, and some people have done some things, but you can't listen to the tracks and the works in progress and things like that. And you still have to be invited to and things like that. So there's definitely multiple tiers of album collaborations, but just like compos, anybody can start an album. It's up to them to actually administer and make sure it happens. It's just more of a place for people to actually organize and make sure things can get done. with critiques and things like that. General file hosting. So before I go into any of the other stuff, the actual stuff that we actually do have, some information about the site. It's running on Rails, if anybody knows what that is. It's not running on PHP. We don't have SQL databases, so we can't have SQL injections. We can still have other problems, but we'll deal with them when it comes. It's not on DreamHost. It's on its own virtual private network. It's real legit. We're using Amazon S3 for hosting. So that's the Amazon's cloud hosting. It's pretty cost effective, but if VGMix gets anywhere than where it was before, it can start to get a little out of control, which is why we're kind of trying to slowly ramp it up so I can make sure and see what the prices are going to be and don't just drain my bank account next month. But yeah, we put a lot of work into the development side of this. Hex has been doing a lot of help with this too. He can attest to. We spent many of the long hours, nights just talking about what we were going to do. Writing stuff down, lots of whiteboard stuff going on. Very well planned out. It's not like we just threw this together. Like I said, we've been working on this for probably at least about 6 months. Up until about, I would say, an hour ago, Mark was still making changes to it. From now, we're not going to stop working on it. We're not just going to leave it where it is. We're going to continue. We meet once a week to work on it, sometimes twice a week. And we're going to continue to do that. We have actually a development blog, which is just vgmix.tumblr.com. So we're going to meet once a week. We're going to work on a feature, whichever it is, whether it be combos or critiques or achievements and all that stuff. And whatever we get done, we're just going to put on the development blog. For anybody who is a member, right now we are in invite-only beta. So again, because I don't want people just flooding my server. There is a form to sign up right here. So if anybody wants to sign up, you just go to the VGRemix.com, because that's where it's hosted right now. I haven't got it on VGMix.com yet. And we convert after this, and we're going to talk about those kinds of things. But for anybody who wants to get to it right now, it's VGRemix.com. Sign up forms here, it's just a Google spreadsheet, just general information, your name, your password, your name and your email, rather, and development blog there. But yeah, we're actually going to keep working on this. We're going to make sure that we give regular updates and things like that. To make sure everybody has some feedback and make sure everybody knows what's really going on. So what we actually have right now is essentially VGMix version 2 basic functionality. Somewhere VGMix 1, VGMix 2. Which is you can upload a song, you can download a song, and you can search songs, and that's about it. The next thing we want to do is we want to get comments or critiques in there right away, because that's going to be really, really important. And then we're still trying to figure out how we want to do ratings. Jake has said himself he does not care about ratings, but I feel like if I don't have any kind of ratings at all, then it's just going to turn into a huge image dump, and people aren't going to know how to get through things. So we're exploring ideas of how to do ratings, break things up into tiers like before, also have some kind of trending algorithm, something similar to Reddit. So you always have new songs that are actually trending and active and things are going on. Sorry, internet's incredibly slow right now. So while that's loading, I'll also open up the dashboard since I know I have to load things in advance. So I'll let all that stuff do its thing. Similar to VGMix 2, we do want to have some kind of gamification element, because gamification is a good way to get people to get active and do things, and it'll really help with the whole educational edge that we're trying to push. The way we're going to do it is we're going to do achievements. So there's going to be some kind of achievements you see for most things nowadays. You're going to have silly achievements, you're going to have productive achievements, and we're going to have achievements that will hopefully tie in for other sites too. Like you'll get an achievement on VGMix for having a song posted on OCR. You'll get an achievement on VGMix for winning a combo, competing in a combo, leaving critiques and things like that. But we want to make sure that we don't give achievements for too frivolous of things and stuff, so we don't have just a straight up achievement hard. Cheeto?
Yes. You mentioned this as functionality between VGMix 1 and VGMix 2. Just a small question. Will any of the songs from either of those iterations be available on the site?
No. We're going to leave everything that was on previous versions of VGMix on VGMix Archive. just as archived part of this is VGMix history.
So it's fresh start.
Yeah, well, we're going to start off a totally new database. We're probably going to integrate VGMix archive into this a little bit more directly, because that just makes more sense for where it to be. But we're not going to cross the databases.
Okay. So it's not like you'll be able to rate, tier, and review stuff from the archive.
Yeah, no.
But it'll be tied in some way so that you could possibly see it alongside with what's available now. Cool.
Simply because, like I said, we want a fresh start.
Yeah.
We want to start off with VGMix the new generation, and it would honestly be just more work than it's worth.
Okay.
These pages still uploading, so I'm just going to give those some time to load. Oh wait, there, because they're starting to load now. So yeah, we're going to have the achievement engine in pretty soon. It's fairly simple. Just to give you guys an idea, like I said, we've been working on this for 6 months, and I'm going to say a lot of things are fairly simple. And by fairly simple, I mean relative compared to what we've done so far. It is a lot harder than it seems to actually get something like this up and running. Getting a song to upload, getting a song to upload, rename, re-encode, change the ID3s, move it over to the cloud hosting. Making sure we have a games database to pull from, which is actually really nice, and I'll show you guys in a second. It was a lot of planning, and from here on out, we wanted to make sure that we at least had song upload capabilities, because for compos, for albums, no matter what you're going to be doing on the site, you're going to have to upload a song in order to get any of that started. And we've got that done, so that's great. Like I said, comments and critiques are what we're going to be going for immediately following. If I can get a song page to load, I'll show you a little bit more about that. Comments are going to be general comments, just like, hey, this is a cool song, thanks. Or, hey, I like that guitar solo, and things like that. Critiques are going to be exactly what they sound like. They're going to be critiques, not professional, but critical comments on how you can improve, what somebody thinks is good, what somebody thinks is bad. All critiques are private. The only people that can see the critiques are the artists themselves. That way, people don't bandwagon, and you can't really flame there and things like that. Because we want to make sure that the critiques are actually constructive. Obviously we're going to have all kinds of flag features and stuff that we haven't really added yet, and we're not really going to have, we're not really going to tolerate any kind of flaming or trolling or trying to generally discourage people to not make more music, because that is the point of the whole website, is to really encourage people. Yeah.
I had a question. Is it possible to differentiate between a comment and a critique?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. Okay. So every songs page is going to have a comments tab and a critiques tab. Obviously, this is where they're going to go. Comments will just be down here, critiques will be here. For the user, the artist who submitted the song, the critiques will actually list your critiques. You'll be able to respond to them and things like that. But for anybody else, this will just be an input form to send a critique, which will essentially work as a private message. But yeah, we do want to make sure we keep these totally separate. VGMix 2 did something similar, if anybody remembers. But we do want to make sure the critiques are just straight up private. This is a preview of what the dashboard will look like. We want to have all your notifications and things here. Notifications for things like achievements, private messages, comments, and critiques. We've already put a lot of work in the activities engine. We'll start making these roll out, but we didn't get it done yet. This is also where you're going to be able to create new combos and your combos and things like that. Once we get that functionality in here. Like I said before, all we have right now is post a song, so I'll just let that start loading up. Oh, it's actually going to be pretty snappy. So I'll walk you through this process. This is pretty similar to what you would expect from, anywhere else. You're going to put a song title in here. Title. You're going to upload your MP3. Right now we have a 15 megabyte file size limit, and it has to be an MP3. In the future, we might offer alternate file types, but it'll still require an MP3, so I'll just pick any MP3. I'm actually going to upload this because I want to mess up the database, but upload your song, you have your description here. Game sources. This is something that me and Mark went over a lot, because obviously having a games database to pull from is going to be pretty difficult. We went over with Hex. We were going to pull from Wikipedia, which was a pretty good idea at the time. We also looked at other options for, you know, just loading a full free database, because there's a free DVD of just every single game in existence and just pulling in that. But we didn't want to overbloat our database if we didn't have to, so we found this. Giant Bomb is a database of pretty much every single game that's ever existed and every single game that's in development. So they have a pretty huge database here, and that's where we're going to be pulling from because they were nice enough to provide us with an API. So any game that you want to do, you just got to type it in here. So if I want to do Final Fantasy, give it a second to check the database because the internet's slow. Wow, really slow. This is a lot faster on the actual internet. Yeah, close that one. Okay. So say you want a song from Final Fantasy VI. You just add Final Fantasy VI here. But your song is also from Final Fantasy IV. Add Final Fantasy IV here. I already added Final Fantasy VI. So, you know. And you can just add all your Final Fantasies. Right now we have it capped at, I think, 5 or 7 games. I don't know exactly. I'm pretty sure it's 5. It might be 7. Simply because if you're having a song that's 15 megabytes that is remixing, 8 games, then you should probably, rethink that. If you want to delete the games that you have, you just uncheck them here, and it'll just unadd them. But yeah, so we're really snazzy. We're real proud about that, how snazzy that is, because it saves us a lot of time and effort. The only thing, the one problem I have with this right now is there's no composer fields. So it doesn't actually pull the composer because Giant Bomb doesn't store the composer. If we want to start populating composer fields, we're going to have to do it manually, and then there's an issue with actually editing Giant Bomb information we pull from Giant Bomb. So we're going to have to work that out with them. We're going to have to call them up and actually have conversations with them regarding how we're going to do that. But
awesome.
That's the one limitation of the games right now. Also, you can see right here, I have a drop down for post as. In the future, we're going to allow users to be able to post as individual users, but also as individual groups. We're not going to have different aliases, so you can't have multiple songs as yourself with different names, but you will be able to post from different groups. The example we use a lot in development is right here. If I was logged in as Ty Suzumabachi, it would say Suzumabachi, and then his drop-down list would also say, Grammar Club, Share Railing, Double S Backfire, and any one of Ty's 100 other groups that he's in. The way that works is essentially anybody who's a member of the group can also post songs and updates on those things. And anybody who is a member of the group that doesn't have a song will just have an empty, that doesn't have an account will just have an empty shell of a profile until they come in and actually make an account that'll automatically be linked. Down here you see another button that says this song includes additional collaborators. This is going to be where you're going to add other people that you worked with that aren't in an official group with you if you collaborate with anybody. We're working on a way to separate out collaborators and just general contributors. Collaborators being somebody who has an actual hand in the creation of the song. Contributors being people like vocalists and people soloists and things like that. Yeah.
So pretty much, like, if you're not actually in a group with someone, you're just collaborating with him, then that way you could use that and just be able to be like I'm working on a remix with Tubers McGee. And so I could check that and be like, hey, he also worked on this because we're not in a group, but to put him there.
Exactly.
Okay.
If they don't have an account, then, like I said, same thing with the group. It'll just make an empty house account. And once they make an account, it'll link those together and it'll link to their profile and all those things. Down here is your share options. This will automatically post to Twitter and Facebook if you want it to.
Nice.
Forced to do it, but we are going to have it directly integrated both Facebook and Twitter apps. So if you want to just share to Facebook, you just click here, and when you post it, it'll say whoever posted a song to VGMix, and it'll link it. So you don't have to share it out every time.
Doug,
Yeah,
for collaborators and contributors, do they have to approve if you link them? Or
Yes.
is it, okay.
they do.
So it's not something you can just automatically mooch off of?
No, you can't just add people at random. No, they have to approve it, and in order to get the Husk accounts linked, like if OA didn't have an account, you made a song with OA. In order to get his song, and once he creates an account, the only way for him to actually get those linked onto the song too is for us to approve that. That's an admin thing. So yeah, we thought all that out.
Okay, just
Awesome.
Checks and
I like the
balances.
functionality you're going for here.
Yeah.
A lot of good control.
I like it too.
So that's basically going through and submitting a song. You'll see you have to agree to terms and agreements. This is literally just the same terms and agreements that are on RTS, that are literally just the same ones that are on OCR. Basically just says we're covering our own butts. You know, you can't sue us for hosting your songs because you uploaded them.
Protection. Oh.
We have the right to take your songs down. We have the right to keep your songs up, you know, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's nothing too scary. Like I said, if you've ever submitted a song to RTS or OCR, you've agreed to the same stuff. You know, we're not trying to steal or sell your songs. We're just trying to make sure that we don't ourselves get sued. So don't worry about it. It's also so we can avoid a situation like we had with the whole game remixes thing, so somebody else can't take your songs and post them somewhere else.
Thank you.
Because, you know, we want to make sure that we are protecting the artists. So yeah, don't be too concerned about it, but you do have to agree to it. If you don't agree to it, then maybe post your songs on Tin Deck or something. This little bad boy right here, this is our in-page error reporting and suggestion feature. It's only for logged-in users, but if you have, you know, this is a specific part of the page, and you can point to it, if this is wrong, and you let us know, so we can actually be collecting feedback. So anybody who is a logged-in user will have that throughout the beta, and probably a little bit into the future. So please make sure you leave feedback. One thing that is important to reiterate, and we don't have it explicitly stated on the website right now, but it's definitely going to be on there. There is a good amount of things that aren't necessarily up for suggestion. We definitely appreciate all the feedback we get, and we would love to hear your suggestions for new features, but we absolutely are emphasizing the things that Jake wants and the way Jake wants them first and foremost. We're also emphasizing the educational thing, and I really don't want to, anything that could potentially discourage somebody from not making a song or from just quitting, I'm just not going on there. So we're not going to be lax on the comments and critiques. We're not going to be lax on, you know, general etiquette. You know, we're going to be not and totally crazy about it, but, you know, any kind of harassment or anything absolutely won't be tolerated at all. One thing that I'm really going over right now is we're not going to let people downvote songs, because if somebody has a song and they post a song and they come back and it has 20 downvotes or 21 votes, then that's the kind of thing that can just discourage somebody from making a song ever again. And I want to discourage that. We're trying to figure out how to make it work with just upvotes, so similar to Facebook. But then, you know, we run into a situation of how we break things into tiers, like, you know, it has 15 upvotes versus how many other songs in the database and all these things. So, you know, it's going to be a matter of figuring out the algorithm. But yeah, again, we're totally open for suggestions and things like that. But there are just some suggestions that we absolutely just have to ignore. Don't take it personally now. What?
Will you take a suggestion now?
Yes, but I'm not sure I'm going to remember it.
No, instead of upvotes and downvotes, you could do, and tied in with the review system, could be just two options. Sounds good or needs improvement. And if it's a needs improvement, you have to give a critical feedback saying what could be improved.
Email it.
Email it.
That's a great idea. And that's really the kind of suggestion that we need, because obviously it's me, Ty, and Hex.
Yeah.
Or me, Mark, and Hex sitting in a room trying to figure stuff out. But
I
yeah,
have a
please
question.
do. Okay.
Can you hear me? Will the level up system be put in place?
Yes and no. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see if Mark actually. If Mark edited the user profiles, then you'll only see the current user profiles. But if Mark didn't edit the user profiles, you'll see my stand-in user profile. Okay, so Mark edited it. So the way that I'm running with things right now, if I go to the main page, you can see it.
No, go back for a second.
User page?
Yeah, well, you click on the song that you made. But I saw it. There's a download link. Is there a streaming player?
There's not a streaming player yet, only because I haven't designed it yet.
Okay.
We have a the jQuery app that we're going to use for it, and all that stuff.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
I just haven't designed it, so we didn't put it on there yet. So the way, if I go back to the main page, the way I'm going to break things up into tiers right now, and the way that I have been breaking things up into tiers right now, not necessarily the way things will be broken up into tiers, is essentially the same quality that you see on World of Warcraft and Borderlands. So you have your common songs, which will be black or white, whatever the default text is. Uncommon songs are going to show up as green. Uncommon songs show up as green. Rare songs show up as blue. Epic songs show up as red. Legendary songs show up as orange. There's also a hidden quality, which is artifact, which is red, which is essentially reserved for Jake. Because I'm not even going to bother with him. If Jake posts a song, it's automatically on the top. So we're going to have similar things here for the artists, for users. We're not going to have actual level ups, but as you gain more achievement points, you'll get a different item level quality. So if you have 0 achievement points, it'll be black. And when you get 1,000 achievement points, it'll be green. When you get 5,000, it'll be blue, and so on and so forth. So that's basically what I'm running with right now. Because then it ties in with the achievement system, and we actually continue the design pattern of the tiers and things like that. I don't have an example of the tiers because I disabled it, but it's going to be essentially the same thing, epic, uncommon, and they're just going to be the same tiers as they were in VGMix 2. So Stuff of Legends will actually be legendary, which is how I came across that idea. Let's see. So we talked about albums, we talked about compos, we talked about songs. Work in progress are gonna work the same way as they did on VGMix. You're gonna have a certain amount of revisions and things like that. Comments and critiques, obviously. Comments and critiques, work in progress, essentially the same way VGMix 2. I was on a tangent and I lost it. But yeah, that's going to be a critical feature that we're going to put in there too, obviously. Something that's not on here, and I don't have an example of it anymore. But I want to talk about it anyway. It's something that I haven't talked about with Jake yet. It's in the same vein of what he's trying to do, and it's something that I'm really excited to do. So, for anybody who doesn't know, my actual job is I'm a instructor at a private university. I teach exclusively online. My job is to set up, and evaluate tests and assignments and things like that. One day when I'm working on VGMix, I realized that what I do and what we're trying to do with Compo is extremely similar. The things we do with Compos are essentially one-shot off activities or assignments that you would do in a normal online education experience. The only difference is, well, I don't want to say the only difference is that that the online things have certain things because they don't all. But an online activity or something that you actually use for education should have clear objectives on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, clear outlines of what you're going to be doing, and then what you should have learned by the end of it, clear outcomes. You can do it right now with the combo system we have on the sauce. Just have a template where you guys add objectives and things like that. But I really want to do that as a separate thing on VGMix proper. So you're going to set up something like, say, like Zircon did last year, how to sidechain. You'll provide them with an FLP, and you'll give them maybe a video, maybe some steps, maybe some PDFs, things like that. You can upload directly to the combo system as just general resources to a combo. When users can go in, download all that information, you have your outline, your clear outlines and everything, some objectives, and then they go in, complete it, submit their song, and then all their songs are probably going to sound similar, and from there you have to have some kind of evaluation, you have to have some kind of grading, things like that, and that's going to be based entirely off peer review. Users go in and listen to it, see if it sounds right, sounds wrong. Peer review obviously is something that is going to require people to actually use it, and it's going to have a testing phase. But I do want to have a dedicated section in Combo just specifically for outlined assignments and things like that. Anybody can do them, or anybody can make them, but they're going to have to be admin approved because you're going to have the outline, the objectives, and things like that. But it's a good way for people to get really easy, one-shot off assignments to just learn something real quick, maybe like a tutorial along with it and things like that, to really start pushing the educational thing. Like I said, this is what I do for my job, so I've had a lot of time to really get some good feedback and things from other instructors of what these things should have. So I'm really proud. I'm really excited to see how that turns out. And hopefully it'll be really helpful for anybody who's trying to learn stuff. So running out of time, we have about 7 minutes left. So for everything that we have right now, everything that's on the site running right now, the site is actually being built with Twitter Bootstrap. If anybody is familiar with it, Twitter Bootstrap is the framework that Twitter released. It's just general classes and things for HTML that make things a lot easier. But we're using the specific responsive Twitter Bootstrap package. For anyone who doesn't know what responsive web design means, that means that you actually, the idea of the web right now is, up until 2005, the web itself was something that existed on a desktop. You viewed it from a computer screen. But nowadays, that's not how you view the web. You view the web from tablets, you view the web from phones, there's varying resolutions. And the idea of making a website that only works for desktop is just incredibly 1995 way of thought. So this website is actually responsive. It will respond to any width you give it. And if you actually use it on a phone, it starts to work with its mobile interface. Mobile interface is something that is not entirely completed, but as you can see, I've already put a good amount of time in it. I can click on songs right here, and it'll bring up the songs page. So it's going to have a really nice optimized mobile interface. Actually, if you have an iOS device, which is something that iOS does exclusively but not Android, you can go in and you can bookmark this and add it to your home screen, and it will actually launch it just like an app. It'll take away the Safari Chrome, it'll take all the Safari UI, and VGMix will actually show up on your iOS screen as a VGMix app, and it'll run just like an app. And you can do essentially everything you can do in the desktop version, just in a way that's a little bit more conducive to mobile. Right now, you can upload songs from mobile. We don't know if we're going to have that because it's giving us a little bit of a problem. And, does somebody really need to upload a song from their phone? There's rare occurrences where you're going to make a song on your phone on things like, FL Studio Mobile and things like that. But do you really need to be able to upload it from your phone? That we don't know. Especially if it's giving us issues. So that's something to keep an eye on in the future. Like I said, right now if you go to it on your phone, it'll work great. It's just songs and the main page, but that's something we're looking into. Apparently there's some download issues with the download button. We're not sure exactly what that is. If you have an iOS device, you straight up can't download stuff anyway, just because iOS locks you out of downloading stuff. But once we get the streamer on there, you'll at least be able to stream songs. The side slide-out menu right now is static. It's just me. But this is where all your other links will go. This is where your about will go. This is where your terms of service will go. This is how you're going to get to your dashboard and things like that. So yeah. So this is VGMix. Like I said, if anybody wants to sign up for it, feel free to go to the VGRemix.com, sign up for a beta account, and we will get you in as soon as we feel comfortable that we can have more users. Like I said, we need a lot more feedback, so we're happy to have as many people as we can get in there. The only thing that I ask is that if you get a beta account, and we're going to limit it at some point, but if you get a beta account, try not to just upload a bunch of songs. I would like to have, we're going to put it at an eventual limit of 1 to maybe 2 songs a week, like similar to what VGMix 2 had. For the same reason that VGMix 2 did, because we don't want to encourage people to just make a song today and release it, and then make a song tomorrow and release it. We want to encourage people to actually work on songs and get things done. We have the development blog. It's just VGMix.tumblr.com. We have a Twitter too, which is just twitter.com/VGMix. And there'll be a Facebook page as soon as I talk to Jake about it, which will be facebook.com/VGMix. So that's VGMix. This is where the majority of development is going to go for the next few months, so you're not going to see too many crazy stuff happen on the sauce.
So I shouldn't post any articles then?
I'll get back to you on that, but no, don't worry about it. I will let you know on any more articles, because I'm going to have to find a new news editor and things like that. But we're not giving up on that stuff.
Okay. Just hiatus.
Yeah, it's just a hiatus because we were trying to get this done.
No problem.
So yeah, does anybody have any other questions or anything?
Any questions?
Mario?
What about previous members of VGMix? Are they allowed to know about this?
Yeah, at this point, everybody can know.
Okay, so I can post this video on YouTube and make it public and kaboom, VGMix.
Public now. It's public
Boom.
knowledge, everybody can know it.
Awesome.
Like I said,
Get all VG.
we hope to be able to have this on VGMix.com today-ish. I gotta talk to Jake about it, see if he's comfortable with that. But yeah, we don't have a forums yet. We'll have a forums eventually. But yeah, that's it. Yay. And thank you for recording this, because I don't have to record this.
And we'll be signing autographs over by Bees.
That's not a problem.